but a really cool one. This is still Genesis chapter 1, and we're talking about Jesus' role from the beginning. And we know that God is Trinitarian by nature, and so Jesus is present, the Spirit is present, they're all there at the beginning working to create something good. And before the work begins, there is chaos, there is darkness, it's formless, and it's empty. And what we should begin to see is that is where God hovers. That's where he resides, hovering over chaos and darkness and emptiness. And if we think of this as, of course it's spiritual, he's creating a real world. I mean physical, he's creating a real world, but it's spiritual as well. And the same God hovers over spiritual disorder and chaos and darkness. And Jesus talks about this. He says, I am the light. And we even now use a phrase that, or a word that helps us to understand this a little bit, and that is enlightenment, where people get enlightened. They suddenly know something, and it's more than just a knowledge for the world, but it can be an awakening unto a spiritual reality. And so what God is doing here in creation, he's still doing in people's lives. And so maybe you or someone that you know lives in disorder. It's a bit chaotic, a little bit feels maybe like walking through oatmeal, like every step is difficult and it's hard. And this concept of God hovering over that is really, really powerful, because it helps us to understand God's never really absent. He's not really like not there. He's hovering and he's waiting to enter in, because God's a God of order and a God of light and a God of hope. And that's really what our souls are looking for. And the cool thought for me is as Jesus brings this concept to us here in this world in a spiritual way, he says that he came to bring this kind of spiritual order to our world and to our lives. And the result of that is goodness. He came to bring us to good places. And so when we feel like everything's very, very difficult, nothing seems to be going the right way, that's really where God is. He's just right there, ready to move. And if we would just see that and allow it to happen, he would take us to good places. Jesus describes it as a place of peace, peace that passes human understanding, because it's not worldly peace, it's spiritual peace. It's living in our divine purpose of relationship with God. And that's all that God wants. He's just waiting for us to have a relationship with him. And then Jesus goes so far as to say, not only does something happen when we accept Christ, and then the Spirit lives in us, which I think, for me, that gives me an understanding of really why I'm here. And that is that now my job is to be Jesus in the world. And so I should be seeking out places of darkness, places of chaos, places where there is disorder. I should be the person desiring to bring order, desiring to help God create what is good in someone else's life. And sometimes we just, when something spiritually so good happens to us, sometimes it gets stopped there and it doesn't flow through us. But really, we are Jesus to this world. We are his hands and his feet and his voice and his heart, his compassion, his forgiveness. And that's what we're supposed to do. And so when I read in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of the Lord was hovering over the darkness, I am reminded of my own new beginning and the life that I led before Jesus and the life that I've led since. And it is ever so true, just like Genesis chapter 1. The Spirit of the Lord brings order and purpose and meaning, and it is good. I hope you have a great day